Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking on Captain Clyde's MTG. I'm here to interrupt your Dominaria Remastered box opening series with new leaks from Phyrexia and All Is One. That's right, they exposed four planeswalkers, two completed, two uncompleted. So if you want, you can go back and we can see who guessed right on who's completed and who ain't. So let's talk about these planeswalkers real quick because we've got four of them, and it's very interesting where they're going with this. So without further ado, don't forget to subscribe as we get into it. Clear my throat for the madness. Here we go. All right, we're going to start this off with first we have Nahiri, the Unforgiving. This is a completed planeswalker. White, Phyrexia mana, white or red, then red and one for a 5/5. She's completed. If you don't know, completed means that you can, if you spend two life for instead of mana, it comes in with two less loyalty, which can be a thing. But Nahiri here is amazing because she doesn't have a minus. So first off, you get +1 until your next turn, up to one target creature attacks a player each combat if able. That's going to be real big in Commander because it's basically saying goad. Also, it says attacks a player, not a planeswalker. So I'm really interested if that's a way of semi-protection for Nahiri, because if you have to attack the player, you can't attack her. Very interesting. She also, for +1, has her typical discard a card and draw a card. That's fine. Now, her last one is a 0, which is very interesting. Exile target creature or equipment card with mana value less than Nahiri's loyalty from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of it. That token gains haste. Exile it at the beginning of your end step. So it's a very interesting, how you would say, reanimator effect that only happens once for each creature or equipment in your graveyard. With that said, there are lots of creatures that are, if you play her for 4, can come in at 5 or less and make severe game-altering effects. I'm not even going to lie. Second, there's a lot of equipment that can do that too. We don't see a lot of it now, but for example, um, let me just think of a piece of equipment here. You're going to have to give me a second. There's things like you could pull out an Altar of Dementia, not Sundering Titan, sorry. Things like Perilous Vaults and other, the Silex, which is the new one for 4, could come out. You could for 0 immediately blow the Silex. Um, there's all kinds of things that can come out for 5. Door to Nothingness. A lot of these cards are from Brothers War, and they may not be legal in Standard, but it's not just Standard we're talking about here. We're talking about all formats, because this could be great in Commander as well. Um, I think Door to Nothingness is probably one of the very best ones. When you think about it, Sculpting Steel is a 3 mana card. That could be a thing. If you want to copy something when it comes in that has a really cool effect. You could Bobble again. I know it's not legal in Standard, but you could Bobble again. There's just lots of things. There's lots of good creatures too. Let's not forget that, like I mentioned, the Silex comes in for 3. Um, there's just lots of artifacts that you could bring in um, just for free, just to make a big thing happen, and then they can just go away, and that's perfectly fine. Um, what's that Rhino that when it dies, you get a 4/4? Like, that could be a thing. So, I mean, you won't get a 4/4 because it's exiles, but if you attack and they have to block, you get a free creature out of it. So this is pretty big. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is gonna see a lot of play. Um, not as much in Standard as it will in like Commander or older formats, because this could just be insane. Just insane. So next on our list of completed Planeswalkers, we have Farraska. I said it. We've all seen the cards. She is 4 and 2 black, or 4 a black and a Phyrexian. She has 6 loyalty, which is a lot if you don't complete her or play Phyrexian mana. If you do, she only comes in with 4. But 0, draw a card, lose a life, and then proliferate. That's basically saying +1, but better because if all your stuff has counters on them, you can proliferate and raise those counters. So if you have lots of planeswalkers, not only do you draw a card and lose a life, but all your planeswalkers go up. Again, a great commander card. At 4 mana, it might be kind of hard to get it into standard, but honestly, maybe not. Because if you look at number 2 here, -2, target creature becomes a treasure artifact creature with sacrifice, blah, blah, blah. It loses all other card types and abilities. So it's for -2, it is creature removal. So that can protect you. Even if you pay 5 mana for her and she comes in at 4, a -2 will kill something and another -2 will as well. And if you start ticking her up and proliferating everything on the board, it's just going to get insane. So this is a very powerful planeswalker. -9, if target player has fewer than 9 poison counters, they get a number of poison counters equal to the difference. So basically, if you -9 her, all your opponents get 9 poison counters. And then all it takes is you to 0 her one time, you win the game because you get to proliferate. You just give everybody an extra poison counter, game's over. That's 10. Amazing in Commander, probably gonna possibly be a thing in Standard. I don't think it's a C play anywhere else really, unless there's some kind of shenanigans deck that goes through some kind of weird combo to get her on the board. But I don't see that right now. But as far as Commander and Standard, I see some serious playability for this card, and not to mention, looks pretty cool. All right, next we have 2 planeswalkers who have been confirmed now as uncompleted. The very first one, obviously, is Kylie, Intangible Slayer. We talked about a leak on her before. I couldn't read it, and someone spoke up, but I'll go through it real quick for you guys. 2 black, 2 white, and 3 for 6. She has hexproof, which is really cool. It means you can't kill her. She has +2. Each opponent loses 3 life. You gain 3 life. Again, amazing in Commander. 0, draw 2 cards, and each opponent may scry 1. That's bonkers. You could scry all day if I could draw 2 cards. -3, exile target creature or enchantment. If it wasn't an aura, create a token that's a copy of it, except it's a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying in addition to its other types. So basically, you can just change any problem on the board into a 1/1 flyer, which is just fine. Now, this does have a large casting cost, and this will make it very hard to play. So I don't see us getting a whole lot of play except for Commander. But in Commander, this could be pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. So, and then finally, the one I'm impressed with is we have the Eternal Wanderer. Now, I was wrong about the Wanderer being completed. A lot of people thought she would be, and she wasn't. But get a load of this. 2 white and 4 for a 5 loyalty. No more than 1 creature can attack the Eternal Wanderer each combat. You know how hard it is to kill a Planeswalker if you can't group attack it? Because all it takes is 1 blocker. Just 1 to stop whatever's coming in. And this is how broken she is. A +1, exile to 1 target artifact or creature. Return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of that player's next end step. So you could do it to your creatures. You could do it to your opponent's creatures. Not only does it protect itself by doing it to your opponent's creatures because they can't get it back till the end step, but you can do it to your creatures to get enter the battlefield effects. Again, amazing commander card. Second, protects itself. Good standard card. Now, 6 mana is a lot, so the other stuff has to be something good on it too. So let's look what the next one is. So 0. Create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with double strike. A 2/2 with double strike. So you can lay this for 4. For 0, make a blocker so that the one creature that can't attack it doesn't deal damage to it. And you can do that forever until you get a hold of the board. This is one of the great cards that's going to make blue-white playable again in standard and maybe other formats, depending on how the mana cost plays out. Next, -4. For each player, choose a creature that player controls. Each player sacrifices all creatures they control, not chosen this way. So, again, if you have 1 creature on the board, your opponent's made a swarm, you lay this -4, Selective Wrath of God. What this reminds me of, if you guys don't remember, didn't play back in those days, is do you guys remember the 6 casting cost Elspeth that was all over standard? The one that would come into play You tick it up, make 3/1/1 creatures so they could block so she would never die, and then you minus her and all your stuff gets +2/+2 and flying, and that's how you kill people. And that was your only kill condition in a deck full of nothing but removal and counter spells. Now imagine that in the decks we have now with all the black removal, the blue removal. You can make a blue-white deck, a blue-black deck, an Esper deck. This is going to be a very expensive card. This is the new Elspeth. And if you think I'm wrong, tell me why in the comments section, because I just don't see it. This is a better Elspeth. So, this is going to be all over standard, so thanks a lot for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. And until next time, be kind. I hope to see you across on the game table. Now let's go back and open some more Dominaria Remastered boxes.